more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Bill, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this. But it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
Philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
So the U.S. economy is actually doing quite well.
The U.S. economy is doing quite well. Are you kidding me? Where do these people come from? They must live under a rock or on a moon. I don't know where they come from. But why say something that's stupid? You know, most people don't realize we are in a crash. Everybody's talking about a crash. Are we going to have a crash or aren't we? We are in a crash. Just look at the charts. Remember, the rally that we had, the last rally from that low after the 2008 crash, from that 2009, using QE, rigging the market to the upside through stock buybacks, all artificial, destined to fail. If anyone thought for 14 years or 13 years this market was sustainable, going up 1,200% on the NASDAQ 100, going up 600% on the S&P was sustainable, they got to be living on the moon or planet stupid. How can you think that it's sustainable? When we hit the high of 477 on January 2022, it couldn't hold. Why? Because we didn't have any earnings. There was no earnings that pushed the market up. It was a game of, hey, let's just keep on printing all this money and we'll give it to the CEOs and they're going to reduce the amount of shares they have. That means if they have less shares, then the shares that remain are more valuable and they'll go up in price without profits, without earnings, without top-line sales, without productivity. How could anybody in their right mind think if that was the game? Now, I could see for 6 months, a year, to stimulate, to get it going. But once they got it going, they got so greedy, they kept it there. They just said, let's keep doing the same thing. Forget earnings, forget profits, forget top-line sales, forget productivity, forget all the things that make a country good and solid and strong, called earnings. Earnings. Forget those. What are those? Get rid of those. So going back to the market crash, now, that was 2022. Remember, and as soon as it hit it dropped right back down. It went down to that infamous October low. That was going to be the low. That was going to make the world. Everybody, we're going to rally off that low and go right up through that January 2022 high of 477 on the S&P and just keep going forever. Remember they told us that? That was it. That's the low. That's it right there. Write it down. Put it on a tablet. Put it up there with Moses. That's the one. That's it. What? So then they tried, right? They tried to rally it. And what do they used the same stocks to rally the market all the time. Apple and Microsoft. Apple and Microsoft. In fact, few realize that from 2009 to 2022, that 1,200% rally had on the NASDAQ and 600 on the S&P. 7 stocks participated. Really, of the 5 stocks out of 500 gave you that market. Just 5 stocks. You might as well throw the rest away. Who needs them? Now, if that doesn't tell you something's wrong and you're going to pay for it, I don't know what will. So the market drops from the 477 down to the October low of 2022. Then they rally. They try to rally the market, right? So on their way to the market from that October to March 2023. And how did they rally it? Again, push down those yields, get those yields down here. But something happened in March of 2023. The banks. Now remember what the banks are. They're the I can't say the word barometer of the financial sector. So in March of 2023, Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic Bank, Signature Bank failed. They failed. Why? Well, their portfolio was eroding. They had $50 billion in unrealized losses, meaning their portfolio was going down by $50 billion because what they're holding in their portfolio, the yields they were getting, we'll call them profits, were disappearing because the interest rates were higher than the profits they were receiving. These were banks. Didn't they know that was going to happen? So think about it. So that was in March. Our banks were failing. But here's what they didn't want to tell anybody. They hurried up, Powell and the protection team, the plunger team they call it. You know who that is, the president, the chair of the Federal Reserve, the chair of the Treasury, the CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and the chair of the SEC. They all get together every day to decide where they want the market to be. And then they print money, give it to the 5 biggest banks, investment banks, and the banks do what they want. Tell them they either buy stocks or sell stocks. So here we are, March of 2023. 3 banks collapsed. Well, it wasn't 3 banks. There was another 180 banks. But they didn't tell anybody about the 180 banks. Oh, no. They didn't want us to know about the 180 banks. Because remember, those 180 banks, their portfolios were eroding. They had unrealized losses. Not $50 billion, $620 billion. And what's this guy say today? This dope?
So the U.S. economy is actually doing quite well.
Quite well when we got banks that are broke. These banks, by the way, so you know, from 2008, when baby Bush wouldn't take these banks and let them go bankrupt, kept them. The banks have been insolvent since 2008. People don't realize that. The only reason why the 5 biggest banks don't go down is because they're really owned by the government, because they bailed them out. But let's go back to these 180 banks. And here we are in March. Now remember, this is March of 2023. Now we haven't yet gotten back to that January high of 2022. So we're still underneath that 2022. And that, in March, I think that was around 380. It was around 380. So think about this. The high in January, I'm telling you, I'm going to convince you, if anything, I'm going to convince you today we're in a crash. We're already in it. So there's the high of 477. In March, we were at 380. 380 is lower than 477. So now they said they had to come up with a big lie, the plunger team, with 180 banks. The first thing they came out and said is, they didn't say the regional banks are insolvent or we have an insolvency problem. No. What'd they do? They intervened and told the big lie. Hey, we just did a stress test, man, on our banks. And are they in good shape? Don't worry about the 3. All our other banks are doing just fine, Aunt B tells us. You know, the Aunt B who says, oh, inflation, don't worry about, it's transitory. She's the same one that said about the 180 banks, oh, they're in good shape. We just did a stress test. Don't worry. Go to bed, sleep. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're okay. God, what a contradiction. Think about it. Stress test? And then what do? At the same time they're telling us the stress test was fine, they're setting up the Emergency Bank Term Funding Program, which was the same program as the Emergency Term Security Facility Program in 2008, which failed. Boy, that gives us a good feeling. If the 2008 Emergency Term Security Facility failed in 2008 to prop up the banks, and by changing the name to Emergency Bank Term Funding Program, it's supposed to prop up the bank, give me a break. I'm going to convince you we're in a crash. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
The feds have raised interest rates again, and AI is the topic of the day. No matter what the financial headlines are, be a successful investor with Phil's Gang at philsgang.com. Take advantage of the free 10-day trial for the Working Investor Program. Phil Grandy has put together the tools you need to understand the stock market, with full access to the Phil's Gang website and access to Phil's Pro 2 color-coded charting software. Know with confidence when to buy, sell, and short a stock. Members also have access to Coffee Talk. Every morning at 8:30 Eastern, Phil Grandy talks about what's happening on Wall Street that day. Want to be a better investor? Then take advantage of the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com. You'll find many more features and tools for the working investor. After the trial, it's just $59.95 a month for membership. Invest with the best. Phil's Gang at philsgang.com. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you a fan of the Phil's Gang radio show? Then you should check out philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. You see the market was up over 400 points today. The Dow was at 4 something. I forgot, 420, whatever it was. Over 400. But then it backed off. Now it's only 130. You know why, don't you? Because of bond yields. Now, listen to this. This is what Leisman says about yields. This guy is a dope.
The upward movement in yield could reflect the view the economy is stronger.
Stronger? Then why are stock prices falling? Here's what it is. When you have high yields, that means any company that has debt, any individual that has debt, the budget deficit, that's bad news for the budget. High yields are bad for anybody that has debt. And high yields, the problem with the market, it can't sustain their rallies. I'm telling you, we're in a crash. How can we not be in a crash? Again, when on January 2022, we were at 477, dropped down to that October. And remember, that October low, what they did everything to cheat. That October low, they didn't want to drop below that October low. So the big lie was, hey, everything's fine, everything's wonderful. And then when they rallied up to March, that's when we hit the bank, right? That's when the banks collapsed, the 3 banks. They didn't tell us about the 180 banks. They're going down. They're broke. They're insolvent. So to keep the 180 insolvent banks from collapsing so that the entire market, remember, would go all the way back to the low of 2018, around 228 on the SPY. Look, if you're watching SPY, 228. They said, oh my God, we got to do something because if these banks collapse, then the market is going to go down to 228. We're on our way to 228. We've been on our way. We've been in a crash since January 2022. Just look at a chart. We went down to October, right? And then they tried to rally up. March, they thought, oh boy, we're going to rally this. And how they rally from October to March? How they do that? 2 stocks, Apple and Microsoft, 2 stocks. Then when the banks went bust, they turn around. They bring in the emergency bank term funding program, propping up these 180 insolvent banks, telling us there was a stress test. That's what they were doing because they were scared to death. If we broke through that October 2022 low, we'd be on our way to the low of 2020 low, which I think is 228. That was the pandemic low. So that's what they did. So they just made sure that they would mask. Powell decided, and his plunger team decided they would mask the March bank failure with a phony stress test and then prop it up with a pool of money. So they turned around and they set up a pool. They get the 5 biggest investment banks, and the 5 biggest investment banks use that money to buy tech stocks. You know which ones. They're favorites to run the market up from that March. Try to run it up again, trying to get it back to that a January high of 222 at 477. But they couldn't do it because when they ran the market back up, it reached a high of 459, which is lower than 477. That's a lower high. That means the market's crashing. And we never got beyond that 459. Never mind get beyond 477. That's a crash. So how did they do that? They created a money pool so that they could take the tech stocks, and they're rallying tech stocks into a high yield. Tech stocks can't sustain themselves when there's high yields. So they formed the money pool, and they rallied the market, and guess what happened? When they got up to that July 2022, the 23, the market couldn't hold. It was unsustainable. And then the market started to drop. Here's the crash. So remember, high of 477. They ran it up for the banks because they know that, remember, they took that March. This is important. That March is so important. Not the October. The March 2023 is the important one. That's when they hid from us the banks. That's when they propped up the failing regional banks. And they're still failing. And then they couldn't hold that 2023, that high of 459. Then it came all the way back down, and then they tried to run it up. They couldn't, so they had four lower highs. They had 459, went down, came back up, couldn't get back to 459. It stayed at 453. Went back down, they tried to rally up, couldn't get past that 453, now 451. Dropped, rallied up, it's 431. So tell me, that's not a crash? We went from 477 to 459, 451, that was 453, 451, and then 431. That's a crash. Every one of those are lower highs. The market's crashing, and the banks are leading the crash. And here's the thing. Remember, the reason they can't hold this market, because we still, what caused that crash from January 2022 to October of 2022, when that market dropped all the way down about 28-30%, because we had the worst earnings in 25 years, worst economic growth, worst productivity in 75 years, worst manufacturing in 14 years. We could go on and on and on. Those are still with us today. So here, 1 year and 10 months later, those are still with us, and they still can't rally this market and hold it. And so if you look, anybody looks at a chart and tell me that's not a crash, give me a break. It's been a year and 10 months, and we can't get back to the July high of 2023 to the 459, and we can't even get close to the all-time high of 477. So it's the market. These yields continue going. And remember about these yields. Powell doesn't control the 10-year Treasury yield. The 10-year Treasury yield, that's controlled by the investors. They go to the auction. And investors still go out and they fill their car up with gas, okay? They buy food. They know when there is inflation. They don't care what Powell's saying. They'll keep buying bonds. And here's the other thing what's happening now, and there may be an opportunity. I told my members this today. If you look on a chart, and I'll put the chart up for you here if you're following me on my YouTube. When I come back, I'll put up a chart for you if you're following me on my podcast here. And I'm going to show you what is going on and where there may be an opportunity for it. By the way, don't forget, we're almost filled. This Saturday, come to our webinar. You have it for 2 weeks archived, and it's nearly filled. Please.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. You know, over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. You know, I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show, one guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals, you follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
These are volatile times in the stock market.
Market's up 200, then it's up 800, it's up 700.
How do you get the facts when investing?
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. If you're confused about the stock market, get unconfused. Go to my site, philsgang.com, and listen to my radio show every weekday at 3 Eastern. What is the market going to do? We know exactly what the market's going to do.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
There's no need for you to be losing money.
Check it out, philsgang.com. You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show, one guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals, you follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grandy.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth, you get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. Clarity, good information, and fun.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back. Are you a fan of the Phil's Gang radio show? Then you should check out philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. I'm going to prove to you, we're already in a crash. what they've been doing is masking it. Now, if you can see my chart, if you're on YouTube or you're on any of the Facebook, Instagram, any of you can see my chart. So here's what I'm going to show you. Here's the 2008 crash down here. And then they rally at 2009 using QE. Now, remember how they got from that 2009, from 69 on the S&P to 477. It wasn't earnings. It wasn't manufacturing. It wasn't productivity. It was not earnings. It wasn't profits. It wasn't top line sales. It was simply a trick that used to be illegal, where you reduce the amount of outstanding shares of your company. The remaining shares become more valuable because you have less of them. That pushes up your earnings and your stock price without profits. That's why QE was illegal. That's why QE is called prosperity without profits. It's a big, big bubble, and they always burst. So there you are, right there. Now, remember what happened. The rates were from zero, and by the time they got up to that 477 in 2022, from 2009, that 13 or 14-year rally, they went from 0 to 1.5. Now, I'm just going to use the 10-year, all right, just to make it easier. I don't have time. 1.5. Then what happened is the yields went from 1.5 up to 4. And that's why the market dropped from the high of 477 on January 2022, and it dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped to that infamous October low. So it was the higher yields that killed the stock market. That's why when these get on there and they tell you, Leishman gets on and says, yields mean the economy's stronger? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? No. It means companies got to pay more interest. This guy is just a dope. All right. So now in October, everybody's, this is it. This is the base. We're going to make a new high. We're going to go from here all the way past that all-time high of January 2022, and we're going to go to 17 million on the S&P. All right. So October comes. Now, remember, we got high yields. Tech stocks don't do well with high yields, but it does if you have a pool. Now, what's a pool? Well, the plunger team gets together. Now, you know who the plunger team is. I explained that. And they all get together, and they'll print money, and they'll give it and they'll put that money in a pool. And they'll tell the pool, which is the 5 biggest investment banks, to buy Apple, buy Microsoft. So that's how they ran it up with a 4%, yield. That's a killer. That's why it dropped. Okay, from 1.5 to 4. So they get to March, here you are, March, and that's when the banks, the 3 banks collapse. And then they mashed the 104 banks, and they lied and said they did a stress test to prove that all the other banks, except for the 3 banks, are strong. Well, if that was the case, then why did they put in the program? Why would they put in the bank term funding program? That's a contradiction, because they're lying to us. Now they rally the stocks again. Now, what stocks are leading? Guess which stocks are leading again with high yields? Tech stocks. Doesn't work. Not sustainable. Now we hit 459. That's the second high. The first high, 477. The second high, 459. Nothing's right. The banks are ready to crash. They're covering up the 104 banks. And remember, the 104 banks, the valuation of their portfolio is in the whole $600 billion. They're losing $600 billion. The 3 banks crashed when they were losing $50 billion. Notice their portfolio, the 3 banks, were devalued as interest rates went up. Their portfolio went down by $50 billion. 3 banks, boom, gone. Now the 180 banks that are left, I think that's the number, 180, yeah, there it is, 180 regional banks that are left, they're in deep trouble. They're in just as much trouble, if not more, because now they're at, never mind 50 billion in trouble, they're 600 billion upside down. So, look at my chart. So that's why it didn't hold the 459. So then it dropped from 459, went down, they tried to rally again, failed again. Oh, we failed again. So let's see. We got 477, 459. I'll use this one over here. You see it better. 459. Dropped. They rallied again. 453. Dropped. They rallied again. 451. Dropped. Rally again. 431. And today we're at 424. You don't call that a crash? From 2022 to October 2023? What's that? A year and 10 months? And over the year and 10 months, the market's been crashing. 477, 459, 453, 451, 431. We can't get out of our own way because the banks are broke. They're insolvent, but they're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you everything's just fine. Everything's just really great. And boy, the higher the yields go up, as Leisman says, the better. Boy, things are good. Remember, high yields are a killer. Remember, high yields is terrible news to the corporations. Remember, corporations are getting money free, zero. Now they're paying 6 and 7%. That's why there's no earnings. That's why the banks are in such trouble, because everybody they loan to, they can't pay back. These big corporations, they can't pay back. They're losing money. That's why Friday, you're going to see them try to rally the big banks by saying, oh, look at this. They beat their expectations. So here's the trick. They're going to take the money they have set aside for bad loans. They're the only ones that can do it, the banks. They'll take, let's say you got a loss of $1 million, and you got $3 million set aside for bad loans. And you got a loss, they'll wipe out that $1 million. They'll transfer that $3 million over to the bottom line, wiping out the loss, and all of a sudden, hey, we got a $2 million profit. Look at that. And these morons on the fake business networks will come out and go, look at this, isn't this wonderful? And then you got all the tourists who don't know what the hell they're doing. They never saw a crash. All they know, oh, wait a minute, a crash? Oh, this is going to get bailed out like in 2008. So that's where we stand. So that is a crash. I don't know what you would call it. If we keep having these lower highs, every time we rally, we go to another lower high. Rally, that's a bank that's failing. That's a crash. What the hell else would you call it? But boy, are they good. They're good at making up stories. Powell and his buddies, they love making up stories. Now, one thing that Powell did accomplish, he accomplished his goal. His goal and of his plunger team. Remember, the president, the chair of the Federal Reserve, chair of the Treasury, chair of the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, and chair of the SEC. You ever notice, like, when the market, it goes down 400 points, and about 10 minutes before the close, it's only down 60 points? That's what they do. They make sure, they decide where the market goes, okay? So now they're sitting here. They mask the bank failures. They can't keep masking it. They can't keep masking the bank failures. And the problem is we haven't changed anything. So in other words, those lows I just told you, 477, 459, 453, 451, 431, and we're at 424. If you say that's a great rally, we're going the wrong way. They can't fix this. The only thing that's been helping them, he's been able to stall this because he's been using Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, Amazon, and Netflix, and NVIDIA. He's been using those stocks since 2009 to prop up the market when he needs it. That's the only thing he's been doing. We'll be right back after this. Please, remember, sign up for the webinars this Saturday, $75. Go to my gift shop now. We only have 15 slots left.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, Go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
Phil Grandy has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grandy.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth. You get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. Clarity, good information, and fun.
To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the working investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor Program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back. This is what I can't stand, is these people come on, these fake business network, and they give you a false narrative. Listen to this.
Word of the day is resilient. I think that consumer...
Don't she sound drunk?
Word of the day is resilient. I think that... Word of the day is resilient. I think that consumer...
Yeah, I bet she looks like the back end of a jackass. Resilient, huh? Things are good. Well, let's see. Gasoline prices are still up 52% from the day that Biden got into office. Still up 52%. Savings have declined from 8% over the last 10 years average to 2.8%. Our new orders are declining, productivity is declining, manufacturing is declining, housing sales are declining, credit cards. TransUnion came out. They have a 20-year high in delinquencies. This is TransUnion, not me. Auto loans, Equifax, 31% increase in delinquencies, 15-year high. Bankruptcies, personal up 68%, small businesses up 111% bankruptcies, commercial bankruptcies 80%, they just started. Withdrawals, record withdrawals from 401ks, from home equity, from savings. Bidenomics doesn't work. We have the largest debt and deficits. We have the largest national debt, the largest corporate debt, household debt. Are you kidding? We got the worst earnings. We have a reduction in our corporate earnings, economic growth, construction spending, increased interest rate. I mean, rates are still going up. And by the way, rates are still going up. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. If you can see on my, now if you can't, the show's archived. But if you're following me on podcasts, and I hope you do, okay? Again, you can catch me on Instagram. And by the way, Instagram and YouTube, I do these little shorts. They're only about 1 minute. I get big hits on those, okay? I get about, anywhere 35, 45,000 every time I put one up. One, I got 1 million last month, I think, in about 6 days. But go check it out, okay? Instagram and the shorts on Instagram and on YouTube. But right now, if you're following me on Facebook, Rumble, Apple, YouTube, let me show you this. People don't understand yields, and you're going to learn how yields work at our webinar. Look, we're focusing on shorting, but you're also going to focus on short and long and how to read yields to your advantage so that helps you be a better trader. We only have 15 slots left, and I'm not lying when I say that. The reason we keep it to 80 to 85, is because it's archived for 2 weeks. So if you sign up now and you can't make it on Saturday, you got it for 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, we get hit with a lot of questions. There's 3 of us to answer the questions. One time we had like 100 and I forgot, it was 165, 125, I forget the number. We were buried. We couldn't get back to everybody. At 80, 85, we can get back to almost everybody. So that's why we keep it, okay, to 80 people, 80, 85. So we have like 15, I think 15 as I started the radio show. So I'm not lying to you. So please, you couldn't be taking this webinar at a better time. And we are in the crash. I mean, it just drives me nuts. Anyways, let me move on. So what I'm going to do, I'm showing you right now, this is TLT. Let me draw a line. When yields go up, I'll put yields in white. When yields go up like this, bond yields go up, keep going higher and higher and higher, and you're a bondholder, your bonds, see how this red line's going down? It's getting worth less and less and less. Now, when bond yields go up, they're also followed by the dollar. The dollar keeps going up. I'll put the dollar in green. So the bond yield goes up, the dollar goes up. Now, what's happening with the war and everything going nuts, people are getting scared now. I see it. I see how people are getting scared. So watch the dollar. The dollar is starting to drop. So the dollar's starting to drop like this, and TLT will start going up. That means the shorts who've been shorting TLT will get scared and have to buy their shares back. And it's going to possibly go up. Now, it may work right now. It may not work till next month. I don't know. But right now, as long as that dollar rolls over, and if you're buying TLT on this low, then you can make some money. But these are the things that we're going to talk about at the webinar, all right? And remember, it's archived for 2 weeks. So if you can't make it on Saturday, but that's a play right there that I think will turn out pretty good. But even better than that is our gold, okay? Gold miners. We don't buy gold. We buy the gold miners. Now, we own a little bit of GDX because I'm watching the dollar go down, okay? So the dollar's going down. So we're buying a little bit, and it's been going up in the last 4 or 5 days, GDX, okay? So, and we've been buying a little bit of AU. So AU and GDX. Why? Because the dollar's going down. So we'll talk to you about how to get into the gold miners by watching the dollar going, when the dollar starts going down, you get into the miners, dollar goes down, you can play the opposite side of the bond market. You can take the 20-year treasury, okay, and what you can do is play it to the upside, because when people get scared, they buy bonds, and then TLT, what I'm showing you here, will start going up. Remember how the bond market works. when your yields are going up and your dollar's going up, the pain, you can see it going down right here. You get a lot of pain. The value goes down. But right now we could get a lot of short covering, and this TLT could move the opposite way, okay, which you could make money on that and gold. These are some of the things we're going to go over. But please believe me, when I hear this stuff, I mean, tech stocks are smart. Listen to this one here. This one, are you kidding? Listen to this. What a dope.
Tech stocks are a smart buy, could serve as a good defense against any market headwinds to come.
This guy on CNBC, he knows nothing. He knows nothing. He knows nothing. A hot dog knows more than this guy on CNBC. He's a little wise guy. You see him on there around 11 or noon, and he goes after the 4 or 5 guys there. He knows nothing. And that was the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Tech stocks are a smart buy, could serve as a good
Tech stocks are never a smart buy when yields are going up. Don't misunderstand. When we had the market, when the market in March, the banks were collapsing, remember what they did. The Federal Reserve, Powell and his boys, put a pool of money together and told J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Citi, we want you to go and take that money and start buying tech stocks. We need you to rally. We got a problem here, okay? We got a problem. The banks are failing. You know that, especially the regionals. Let's prop them up. We need you. The only stocks people are buying right now are the same stocks over and over. Apple and Microsoft. They keep buying the same stocks. I got a pool of money for you. Buy it. And then the stock started to go up. With yields, remember, at 5.44 on the 3 months. Remember, the market collapsed from January 2022 down to October 2022 because yields started to go up. They were at 1.5 and they started to head up to 4. The 3 months was at 0.1%. Started to head up to 4. That's why the market dropped from January 2022 to that October low. So when they pushed it up and they got to March, the banks collapsed. Then they masked the collapsing of the banks. And then they pushed the Apple and Microsoft trying to lead the way. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Never got to that high again. In fact, it made, as I told you, 4 lower highs. There's only one place for this market to go. It's going to go from where it is up in this area somewhere. Now remember, they're always going to have that one last rally before the crash. But this market can easily break right through that October, that magic October, okay, 2022, and the market. I would say if you follow SPY, I think it'll end up around that 225 right there, that low of 2020, that low of 2020. That's about a 40% drop from where we are right now. 40 to 50% drop from where we are. That's in the bag. The only thing they're doing is delaying it, and they're delaying it by using, again, this bank term funding program. Remember, it's the same program they had in 2008. They just changed the name. That's all. They just changed the name, and it didn't work in 2008. They know it's not going to work now. So from where we are now, 428. If we go down to 2.25, that's about a 50% drop, and that can happen very easily, very easily. So learn. In case it does, learn how to sell short. Go to my webinar this Saturday. Sign up. It's only $75. You got it for 2 weeks. Also, join my gang for 10 days. It's free. You'll learn how to show during those 10 days as well.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to